Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to Celestial Journey. So today we've kind of got like a little extra episode. I mean, there was 3 episodes this week, this one being the fourth, just kind of a little extra episode. I will say that we're going to be doing stuff that's not part of the default mod pack today. We're going to be doing some Betweenlands, or that's the goal, is Betweenlands. We're not going to do any of the default mod stuff because if you guys aren't interested in going through Betweenlands since it's not part of the default, you are more than welcome to not watch this. But we are going to be doing a little bit of Betweenlands because I need it. I need it really, really bad today. Even more so than mana, I guess, for the build purposes. But anyways, I have done a little bit of work. You can see I've started digging out paths, and these are going to be opened up and changed up a bit. And just basically plotting things out in my head. You can see that this goes into a large room that's only a fraction of its actual size what it's going to be. So, yeah, and then that goes down there. But if we pop up here, and then this area goes back pretty far now as well. But I did add this little section here that kind of just winds all crazy like up to here. So where our Britannia area stuff is at the moment. And then this little overlook. So, but I wanted to get the area dug out and get started building on the area that's going to actually house our mana production, our first mana production system. But I really need Betweenlands so I can do things proper, right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to set out. I don't think this pack has Nature's Compass. It does. That's right, I have one. It's upstairs. Okay, let me go grab that. I get my packs mixed up, right? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to search for a swamp. Swamplands. That's Betweenlands. Yeah, we just want swampland. Start search. Okay, we've got one 700-ish blocks away. I'm hoping that it's not one that we've already explored because I had a Betweenlands, of course, after, I'd explored a little bit of the world. So there's a possibility that the first swamp that we come across, it may not be any good for us. Because I need one that was generated, that we generate today, basically. Because I haven't found one since we did a bit of exploration before. But it's possible if this one hasn't been generated. But I don't know, I think I remember going through kind of a swampy area, but I don't remember if it was specifically a swamplands or not. Or if it was one of those, like a willow place or what it was. So, but yeah, today's episode is kind of more just a relaxed, fun episode. If you guys, like I said, if you guys aren't into non-mod pack stuff. I know in Divine Journey, a lot of people were upset about, a lot of people were upset about me adding in Betweenlands. Not a lot of people, a few people were disappointed by it, but that's the thing, you're not required to watch it. And I'm doing it very much as a... Oh, what's that? Is that a blood diamond thing? Okay, let me put some distance here between the two of us. Oh. I'm killing them with this sword because... I mean, it gives us some wheel, but then in addition, it gives us a chance for a soul. So, okay. We got a decent amount of Cyclops eyes and a blood gem. I didn't realize they drop blood gems. I think that's the first one that I've had drop a blood gem. We're going to be setting those up in a spawner before too long. So, I really don't have to worry that much about killing them. Or at least make them available to spawn. We're going to do kind of like what I did on Divine Journey where we have like a spawner area. Maybe we switch them out. But I'm thinking about setting up, because remember this pack is all about efficiency. So really the less things that run on power that we have voiding, the better. Because ideally we don't want to waste on this series. At least waste as little as possible. So we're probably going to do a pretty nice little redstone setup to... basically monitor, yeah, this swamplands is no good for us, but basically monitor mob drops and things like that so that we have, we hopefully avoid them being wasted and maybe it'll switch them out for us as needed. So, and then eventually we'll get into Draconic Evolution Souls, and those are like free. No power requirements. But I will say I was doing some thinking, and I think we'll try to run as much as possible in ways that don't require power, right? This is a willow swamp. Man, I'm going to have to go out a little ways, and that means I'm going to have to come back a long ways also. And I forgot to bring my sleeping bag, so GG me. GG. But if I find some sheep, I'll just make a bed. So that we've got one with us. Probably going to do another sheep search here in just a second. And actually, since we're here and I see cocoa beans. Oh, parrots. I always think they're like something else. Since I see cocoa beans, I'm going to go ahead and just grab these. Just so we've got a few. And then let me go ahead and hopefully get... There we go. At least one jungle sapling for us. There's 2 jungle saplings. Okay. Okay, and then let me go ahead and search for a swamp again. Is it going to find the one? Nope, we found another one off in this direction. And I guess the swamp M would work as well, truth be told. And if I find cotton plants, what do... let's see, cotton plants... We want this right here. Because that makes 2... Okay. It's actually better than the Natura cotton because this takes 3 to make 1. So you get a little bit better output. Plus these just, I don't know, I like them more. So we're looking for something like that, like brown with white tips. Oh, I like this forest over here. This is a blossoming fields biome. So if you want one of these for yourself, Nature's Compass, blossoming fields. I see our swamp. Let me go ahead and put, like, blossom fields. I may come back to this later. Who knows? Alright, so this is our swamp biome. Oops. Yeah, it looks like we've already been through here, though. Yeah, this doesn't have what I'm looking for. Okay, so let me search for swamp again. Let's try a swampland M. Maybe. So we'll start a search. We've got 1,035 meters away off in this direction. Oh, here we go. I see one. They're not too uncommon once you... There's actually 2 right beside each other. I didn't change the settings for these at all. I did change some config settings from Betweenlands just to make it match up to our playthrough a little bit better. So, like, our tools and stuff will work just as well in the Betweenlands. And, oh, this fight actually might be kind of tough. Well, sort of so. Because I can't take the fall damage. That's where a lot of their damage comes from. There we go. Aha! We got a piece of the talisman. Okay. Just 3 more to go. Nope. And another piece of the talisman. 2 more to go. Okay. And I am going to be adding some crafting recipes for various things from the Betweenlands, just because things that aren't craftable, because we're just going to be using it mainly, you know, just for decoration purposes. I am going to make the alchemy stuff. We might make some potions on camera and go over the potion system because it's just absolutely amazing. Oh my Gosh, these guys actually doing some damage to me here. Alright. I just need 2 more pieces of the talisman. As you can tell, if you're doing this like legit, you want like ranged weapons. Hey, there's wild cotton. And I did discover you don't need shears for this. So. I'm just, it's like force of habit. Like, if you need plants, you use shears. Right? Okay. You just climb that vine, sheep. You just climb it. But, if you're not on the Discord, I have added some recipes, or changed some recipes in the pack. It's not anything progression related. But what it was, if you noticed, I'm using trapdoors. I had a question about that. And I posted my Craft Tweaker script on the Discord. We got all the pieces for this now. There we go. But if you're not on the Discord, I posted my Craft Tweaker script on there, so if you want it, you can pop onto the Discord. It's pinned on the Celestial Journeys page. But for trapdoors, since they're not craftable actually in this pack, I had to do that for like the fur ones that I used on the mine and stuff like that. And I'll steadily add recipes to that as needed. That's like a lot of the Thaumcraft stuff. Thaumcraft never added recipes for it, and it's great for decoration, but there's no recipes for it. So I'll add recipes for stuff like that also. So let's go ahead and head on back home. But I won't mess with anything that's at all progression related, but stuff that's decoration related, it generally gets overlooked in packs, and I need it. I needs it. Mainly if it relates to my build, I'll change it. And the way I change trapdoors is, like, if you look up trapdoors, it only accepts oak wood. It doesn't accept the other wood. Easy change. I just removed the recipe and then added one for oak. And that way I can craft all the other trapdoors because they are, as of yet, not craftable. So, little changes like that so that I can actually build with all the materials. And then some of the Betweenlands stuff is normally not gatherable for building purposes. And, like, in my pack, I've went through and I've added recipes to everything. And so we will be adding, I'll probably add in some recipes for different things. Like, for example, the Sludge Menace boss, his dungeon has some beautiful stuff to build with, but a lot of it's not really gatherable. And so I want to make sure that we have access to that. Anything that we need for the build, it'll be added. So, and I'm not sure, I know in the past, Dark Druid Altar was not, you could not gather it, like with Silk Touch. Oh, there's Crimson Knights here. But I want to look and see. I might have to add a crafting recipe for that. If I decide to use it, the only thing it's used to really craft is like some, well, I think by default it's only the talisman for Betweenlands. I know in Tales it's actually a huge part of your crafting machines. Because as you saw, there's really nothing more epic, I don't think, than crafting on the Dark Druid Altar. It's amazing. It looks beautiful, like crafting with it. Hey, there's where I went to that slime island. And it's fun to use, and anything with like visual crafting, I love it so much. Okay, I moved our spawn point back to where it should be, and what we're going to do, let's pop over to here, and we're going to try this, we're going to give it a shot here and see what happens, and then we'll adjust as needed. But if we do that, not enough space. Okay. What about here? Just any kind of sapling, swamp talisman, how you make this. What about here? Not enough space. What about... There we go. Okay. So we now have our Betweenlands portal, and it is eating this a little bit. I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup here. I ate a little bit of my cypress. No, it ate a little bit of my wooden floor. Oh no. That's fine. It's actually not expensive, but wait a second. Let me pop up. Let me see how close this is to the ceiling of this. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. I can work with that. I can definitely work with that. So let me pop back over and let me go ahead and get my F7 on just so we can see if, yeah. But I did change some settings in the configs for Betweenlands, so like our torches, our potions, our food, that stuff doesn't go bad when we go there. There is still player and tool decay, so we will have to concern ourselves with that. But that stuff, it's not a huge issue. I guess player decay kind of is bad, but... Alright, so anyways, we've got our Betweenlands portal. None of these limbs are spawnable. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We're actually going to be setting up a statue up here in just a little bit too, as well. So if you're curious about those on camera, like how those work, then you'll get to see that. So, but yeah, I'll do some adjustment up here. I'm going to open up these walls a bit. And I'll probably drop the ceiling down a little bit also. I dug it probably a bit bigger than I had to. But that was more of just to make sure we had enough space. Because I couldn't remember vertically how big. I kind of remembered width-wise how big this thing is, but couldn't remember vertically how much space we needed. Okay, so let's pop into the Betweenlands. 1 second. We dump off all of this stuff. And let's go to the Betweenlands. So, totally not mod pack content, but that's okay. Because I need it for building. I mean, that's mainly what we're doing this episode, is just getting the Betweenlands opened and going into it for the first time on camera. And that way I have access to the building materials, because I really, for the build that I have planned, I really need this. Okay. Dank World. Advancement. Oh, wow. We started right in a marsh biome. Great. I see some ruins over there that we can definitely make use of a bit later. But, where do I want to do this at? Oh, is that a sludge plains, actually? That is a sludge plains. Be awesome if there's like a sludge menace boss like right there. Be great. There's a shallow breath. Ooh. Okay. And for those of you that have not ever seen the Betweenlands or been to the Betweenlands or experienced the Betweenlands, this, boys and girls, is true Dimension mod. Like, this mod is just fantastic in so many ways. I love it so much. I could add it to every pack and be so happy. I don't see any as of yet, anyways. But let's go ahead. I want to pop down. Most of what I want right now, well, actually, no, I need... There is one other thing I'm going to need from here. Like, bad. But we'll get that in just a second. The first thing I'm going to need from here is Between Stone. And I'll take sulfur, because we'll use that too. Oh, and mud. Yeah, I could use some mud, actually. But for the build, we're going to take a second. We're going to talk about the build on camera, because this is kind of more of just like a builder's episode. We're just doing some hanging out. Hope you guys don't mind. I did warn you at the start, but this is kind of just more of like a builder's episode. And basically what I have in mind for the build, because I haven't actually went over that. My idea going into this build, like, it's changed since I first started work on it. Advanced darkness. That means we're down. Yeah, the cavern layer. There we go. But the build's changed. The build plan's changed a little bit since I first started it. And I'm happy for that. Because I think I like the idea for the build right now and where it's going. But my idea is to make our own kind of own personal version of Carcosa is my idea. But we're gonna kind of mix it. I mean, it's not like Carcosa, I think, like generally what you would think of as Carcosa. It's more like if you were to mix Carcosa with Blighttown from Dark Souls is what I want. That's kind of what I have in my mind at the moment. Is a mix of those two, like this weird marriage of Carcosa and Blighttown. So naturally, for that, I need kind of more murky, swampy type materials. So it's like, yeah, I've got to have Betweenlands. I just have to. So we're still gonna have like, I mean, it's not like there's ever, I don't guess, outside of just like as far as true lore goes, I don't think there's ever been really a truly complete description of a Carcosa. It's usually like bits and pieces or just specific things about it. I mean, there's only a couple different works that, you know, we can draw anything about Carcosa from, really, but and I don't I don't take movies into account. I think there was some movies on the King in Yellow and stuff, but I don't you know, that's just Hollywood basically their adaptation of things. So but I just imagine like Carcosa being this beautiful but horrific place, right? And so that's what I want. I want to have this weird marriage of Carcosa meets Blighttown, basically. So I want plants and things from, not just the plants mod, I want a lot of plant variety in this place. And I want Betweenstone and Pitstone. We should probably go ahead and dig down to where we have Pitstone, I think. You see my decay bar is slowly dropping, but that's okay. Not that worried about it. We're at Y95. I think Pitstone's going to be about Y50-ish, if I recall. Let's go ahead and grab that swamp dirt. Slimy bones. Hey, there's blocks of slimy bones now, isn't there? I believe so. Yes, slimy bone block. Oh, yes! And it okay, Betweenlands now has like full magical crop support, and so it hooked into our magical crop, so we can make slimy. I know it's not the same as like the normal level 2, because normal level 2 is like this. But since this is just decorative, I'm not going to change it. We're going to leave that alone, and I'm going to take this, because I'll use some slimy bone ore for sure. For sure. And the Simerite I'm going to want because we're going to need to make lots and lots of shears. So let me go drop off my stuff real quick. And I need to go grab one thing in particular that we're going to need. But it's been killing me the last couple of days because it's like, God, I want to go into Betweenlands because I need it. I need it in a bad sort of way for so many things. It's got the prettiest dirt ever. It's got some of the prettiest stone ever, especially for this kind of a build. I brought a firefly with me, apparently. Yeah, you can stay here, buddy. It's also got a lot of wildlife that I want, like geckos and things that I want. Fireflies. If you recall, back on Sevtech, we had a firefly that just kind of floated around. Let me go get some chests, actually, for kind of our Betweenlands haul that we bring back. Oh, I hooked onto it. Because you can climb all this stuff, so if I hit it just wrong with the longsword, it thinks I want to climb it. Okay, that's going to be our Betweenlands stuff that we bring back through for right now. And I've got an idea of how I'm going to do storage in this series, and it's not going to be convenient. I'll go ahead and tell you, it's not going to be convenient because it's not going to necessarily be like everything in one place sort of storage. It kind of will be. It'll be in like one general vicinity, but it's not all going to be in one place. So we're going to have multiple drawer controllers and multiple build areas that we've got to do. But I think it's going to be really cool. It's something that I've never done anything like before, and I think it's going to be awesome fun. So just a heads up. And I forgot to... Where did you come from? Okay, I guess he flew down and followed me down here, but... Oh, I hit limestone. So there's that. There's octane. A lot of hangers through here. Oh, this is so eerie. And I love Betweenlands because it has its own like default shaders built in, and it's honestly like if I was in the Twilight Forest right now, it'd be like chug 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 chug, like loading everything. Betweenlands just runs so good by comparison. It's so nice. I mean, if you're on, like, say, a server and you're flying at, like, full speed with, like, Creative Jetpack or Angel Ring or something like that, yeah, it's going to buffer. But so does the Overworld. But there's Pitstone. So we should be just about to the deep areas. And I have hit a pitfall. Yeah, there's our rock bottom advancement. Great. Great stuff. Okay, let me go ahead and just start gathering up just a bit of pitstone from down here. Okay. And for those of you that haven't been to the Betweenlands, unfortunately, you have not got to meet the hag yet. How did my decay go back up? Not really sure, but I'll take it. Normally it saves that if you leave. I hear a hag. I just don't see a hag. And it is really cool because it seems to plug in very well with Project Vibrant Journeys so far. Just to add a little bit more plant life. Oh, look at that. Might be kind of hard for you guys to see it, but... Alright, so... There's a hag. She's coming. Alright. Let's bring her over here to the light. For those of you that are new to Betweenlands, this is basically your Betweenlands zombie. Is the hag. I kind of wonder, I'm sure we could probably get a Draconic Evolution soul off of them. So, I've got Rototicks, but these guys would allow me to farm, if I put them in a vial, I'd be able to farm slimy bones that way. For decorating. Now, Betweenlands also has its amulets and stuff, which are pretty good. I haven't decided if we'll use them, simply because technically, I guess they give you a little bit of a strength increase, but, I mean, we're also not using, like, the OP armor that's given to us in this pack, pretty much, which is the Divine RPG armor. I'm not using that because it's too strong for the amount of work that you put into it. So I don't know. We might. Kind of as a balance thing. But we'll see. Most of this I'm going to be using just for decoration purposes. But alright, so we got our pitstone. Awesome. I've got an easy place to come and farm limestone also if I decide that I need it. I don't have anything in mind right this second where I'm going to need limestone, but I'm sure at some point I probably will. Also, mud. I would like to get a nice stockpile of things like mud and swamp dirt. But yeah, this is kind of like a off-camera... This is like what I do off-camera usually. This is me farming some resources for building. And, I don't know. I don't know if you guys will like this or if you guys will be like, no. Never again post this utter garbage. But, yeah, so there's a bunch of pitstone. I'm going to need a lot more than that, but That's a start. And I'm going to need a lot more between stone, but that's a start. Let me go get... Let's see, let me go get my buckets real quick. Easy enough. I just dropped them down in this chest. That has a lot of our stuff, like our sleeping bag and junk. Because I want to start moving a lot of our stuff from up top to down in these caverns, because this is where most of our time will be spent within the build. Because we're going with like a large scale. Instead of having lots of different builds, we're basically going to have two builds, and that's going to be the above ground build and the below ground build. Which the above ground build is basically going to just be this like abandoned sort of mining town is my plan, that has become abandoned. And my idea is like maybe they unearthed this you know, the portal that we built there, the nether portal, that's basically our entrance into the into our Blighttown Carcosa place. And there's mud, lots of mud. And what's great, one of my favorite roofing materials is Betweenlands shingle roofs. They are gorgeous. They are absolutely gorgeous. There's also the thatch roof that you can do as well. So, with lots of mud, we can make lots of roofs. Which, honestly, the thatch and the mud would probably fit our Carcosa Blighttown. Now, it's not all going to be kind of like dingy, dirty. I mean, there's going to be some really nice buildings in here, because in my interpretation of Carcosa, you know, I would imagine that there would be some very nice kind of ornate structures, but I also just imagine this like dingy, dirty looking, maybe not dirty, but you know, like, and not, maybe not dingy, but like it's refined in its like refined in its horrific beauty would be kind of my words to it, I guess. It's kind of what I'm imagining. I also want to get a little bit of swamp water as well. And Fuller pads. They're like one of my favorite plants ever. I'm so excited for this. You know, I recently went through, pretty much just rushed through Betweenlands on MC Eternal, because that's more of like, okay, let's just do the PAX quest sort of things. I recently went through there, and we pretty much just went through it to get the bosses and the quests done and things like that. But on here, we'll get to kind of, even though it's not like default in the pack, but because we're doing a big build in this series, we'll get to really play around in the Betweenlands, which I'm very excited for. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy about that. So what I'm thinking is, like, we're going to have this water area, and I want swamp water for this, because there is no better water in existence than swamp water. Which I'm going to have to come through with, like, between stone and kind of fix all this up. But that's okay. And basically I've just got to fill this up with... I'm only going to do, like, one layer for right now until I come through with, like, between stone and mud and stuff and make this, like... I want to bring the Betweenlands swamp to us, right? We did a little bit of that in, like, Sevtech, where we kind of had, like, the portal around it. You know, the swamp was kind of leaking out of the portal. But I want it, like, completely out of here. And it's actually kind of funny going through here on here, because, you know, we added Betweenlands to... it's so hard to tell, like, when this stuff's flowing, to be honest with you, because of the coloring. But it's funny because we added Betweenlands to Divine Journey, and that was back when it was an early mod. I think it had 2 bosses at the time. Maybe it only had 1 at the time. Maybe it didn't have any at the time. I can't recall. But a lot of the stuff was in its infantile state, and at that time, Betweenlands wasn't really being updated to 1.7, like all some of the newer features and stuff. And even then, for like the later versions, most of the features were missing at that time. So, and to see, like, now that we're in Celestial Journey, which is kind of like, you know, a successor to Divine Journey, it's really cool to see how far Betweenlands has come since back then. It actually makes me very, very happy. Very, very happy indeed. Because for those of you that don't know, if you're like newer to the channel or whatnot, Betweenlands is probably my favorite mod in existence. Alongside like some of the greats, which includes like little tiles and stuff. Betweenlands is by far the best, I think the best content mod ever. Like, it's an absolute gem. And speaking of, like, my favorite mods, I get a lot of questions a lot of times about, like, what's your favorite this or that mod? Like, what's your favorite tech mod? Or what's your favorite magic mod? And to that end, we will be doing, basically, like, once a week, there'll be an episode, like, on the weekend, and we'll be discussing that, in fact. But anyways, I'm going to be doing... This is my ramble video. I don't know, these are kind of fun to record, though. I just sit and talk for a bit. And I will say this room, once again, this room's not going to be full square shaped, as you can see on this end, but I'm doing this bit by bit. And I kind of like this water being really low, too, in a way. Like, I was planning on bringing it up to where that cobblestone's at, but I don't know. I kind of like this, like, really low, really low water also. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, we've got this kind of started. Let me F7 just to make sure we don't have any spawnable locations. I don't think we do. I'll continue running this water off camera because I know it's... I apologize, it's like such a riveting edge of your seat experience running water. But there's a couple other things that I want from the Betweenlands. And one of those things I'm going to need... Well, I say one of those things. About 60 of those things... I'm going to need some... oh, I left it over here. That's right. I'm going to need some Simerite. So let me get like 4. Should be good to start with. This is actually like the major thing that I need. I don't know where I'm going. I need the other side of this room. But, yeah, I mean, if you guys like this kind of video, let me know. Or it's just kind of, I mean, like I said, this is just an extra sort of video. It's not, because normally I would do, like, 3 episodes of Celestial Journey per week. And so this one's just kind of a bonus, like, oh, here's some, I don't know, behind the scenes. This is me rambling while I build and gather resources kind of episodes. And if you guys like this, we might start doing this. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, we've got some shears. Let's go ahead and see about getting ourselves some plants. Because I want things like volar pads. I am going to want swamp reeds, but I'm going to wait on those because they're super plentiful. Also, weedwood bushes. Let's take these. Because I need... These are some of the most beautiful bushes, by the way. Because, for example, which I know it's kind of dark here. I've got torches. If you take these, like, that's a single bush. You can see it's kind of rounded. And then they connect. They have connected textures. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love them. Not to mention geckos love them, actually. Oh, and there's mire snails. Oh, yeah, we can have snails. There's a sundew, which totally doesn't match with Betweenlands. But that's Project Vibrant Journeys. There. And let me get, like, black hat mushrooms. Yes, please. And honestly, eventually, I'm just going to want, like... I really need to... we'll probably have to get into Betweenlands farming pretty quick. That way we can get all these plants, like... farming. And swamp plants. I love those too. They're just really pretty. Really pretty plants. But I don't want to use like regular leaves. I want weedwood bushes for what I would normally use leaves for. Because they just look so good. And it's not like we can have a real swampy Blight Town style build without Betweenlands. It's just not a possible thing. I mean, you just can't do it. Just can't do it. If you're playing modded and you're trying to do like a swamp build without Betweenlands, then you're just crazy. Just absolutely crazy. That's poison ivy. I don't want that. I don't know. I might want that. There's incense cedar wood from plants that snuck in here. I think I have broke my decay bar. I'm pretty sure I have broken it. Because I see you. Oh, and we got fallen leaves. Ha-ha. Really what I should be doing is just like breaking everything in sight with my shears. Just It's probably what I should be doing because I'm going to want all of this stuff. Like honestly, our Betweenlands plants are probably going to have their own drawer system. It'll probably be like a general like plants drawer system, I'm thinking. Oh, and algae. Let's take that too. We definitely want that. What did I drop? I think it was more algae. But yeah, I definitely want algae. I've already went through one set of shears. Oh, there's huckleberry leaves. It's not what I'm here for. Thank you, plants. And moss. Yeah, let's take some moss. You can generally stockpile a lot of that. Oh, and we can have frogs in our build. It's going to be great. Of course, there is bewitchment as well, so we can have like bewitchment snakes and frogs and owls and all that stuff too. Bewitchment's animals do look pretty good. Their AI is horrible right now, generally. And maybe not so much their AI, is just the way that they navigate is probably a little bit more accurate to say that, but the way that they navigate is all kinds of weird sometimes, but I do love bewitchment. And like bewitchment and Betweenlands are just, they're a match made in heaven, I think. Pitcher plants. Yeah, we're going to take those too. I need it all. Okay, I've broken my shears again. Alright. That is okay. I did forget to mark home, but I did mark up. So somewhere in that general vicinity. I got too excited coming here, I think. So we did do a little build on Divine Journey where we actually built inside of the Betweenlands. I don't think we're going to build in the Betweenlands this time around. Also, I had a question about building in other dimensions. I don't think that we'll probably build much in other dimensions. I want to focus all my time and effort on basically our Carcosa Blight Town and then the little bit of builds that we have above ground. Which the above ground builds are basically going to be like this abandoned mining town that has discovered this portal. I know I was talking about this earlier and got sidetracked. Has discovered this portal and has probably went into it, you know, kind of a la what Dead Space was kind of like that, sort of. Not exactly, but sort of. But something kind of like that, you know, where these people have came into this place probably and the mining town pretty much overnight became like a ghost town. And so above ground, I want that mining town to almost be reminiscent of, this is kind of another throwback to our Divine Journey series in a way, but I kind of want it to be sort of a throwback to like Silent Hill-ish, or kind of that feeling of Silent Hill, but not all the monsters and stuff, just, you know, just the abandoned, you know, the abandoned mine, like on, oh, I can't remember that one Silent Hill where you go through the mine and all that, but which one was that? Was that Homecoming? I think that was Homecoming. No, Homecoming. No, that wasn't Homecoming. I don't think. Homecoming was the really cool one with the... Yeah, Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not Home... no, it's not Homecoming. It's the... Well, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked again. Homecoming was one of my favorites, though. Like, one of them. I don't know. It's hard to say. All of them are so good. But okay, so we got a lot of plants. And we've got algae. I can't place any of that right now because I don't have the water ran yet. But I guess down in the water, we're probably going to use mud. Originally, I was thinking about betweenstone, but that doesn't make as much sense as just having mud and dirt down here, I think. So if you land in this water, it's going to be like, like getting through here. Of course, it's going to be like 3 high, so it's not going to be that bad because you can just swim up out of it. I kind of want a pet lurker in here. Like name tag a lurker that just swims around in this place. Or a couple lurkers. Oh, we have to do it. We have to have pet lurkers. It's going to be wonderful down here. It's going to be wonderful. Of course, lurkers are not aggressive, so I could get in here and I could swim with them. As long as you don't attack them, they're not aggressive. But it's just going to add like so much ambience to our like little world that we've got going on down here. It's going to be great. And I know I get a lot of comments a lot of times about like how the Divine Journey builds were a lot of people's favorites, you know, and I'm hoping that we top them this time around. It's a different build. You know, we're not as much above ground. I mean, we're literally going to be in a cave most of the time. But I think once it's done, there's going to be enough like greenery and plant life and things that that'll be okay. We'll kind of feel like we're outside while living in this like subterranean city. This blight town Carcosa. Which, it's funny because most people, when it comes to like the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, they always hate the swamp areas. Like Demon Souls, the, not Swamp of Regret. Maybe that was it. I can't remember. But anyways, I shouldn't talk about anything because it's been so long since I played Demon Souls. But personally, that was like always my favorite area. I loved that swamp. And that's like Blighttown in Dark Souls. Probably my favorite area. It was wonderful. I loved just those kind of areas. And so naturally, I'm a huge fan of the Betweenlands because it's kind of that same thing, like just sludging through the swamps that I just enjoy. I love it. I love it so much. That coarse swamp dirt that I gathered just became regular swamp dirt. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter because we're not going to have any grass down there and it's going to be underwater, so it's not going to turn into grass or anything like that. But I'm going to mix just some swamp dirt in there. It's barely visible, and once the water levels rises, you're not really going to be able to see it. But I think like swamp water is one of those water types that you just can't get in any other mod. Some maybe come close, but nothing really does it as well. And there's a few that kind of come close, but they have like crazy effects, like, oh, you've got night vision, or you got, I don't know, you're set on fire, or, you know, something like that. And I don't want that. I just want dirty kind of, not necessarily dirty, just dark water. Yeah, it's definitely dirty water, but I wouldn't drink this, that is, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's kind of like this, and then I just got to run it all the way through, right? And fill this whole area with mud and swamp dirt and swamp water, and then raise the water level up to there. And then the between stone and the pit stone. The pit stone's probably going to be at the bases because I want, let's see. I love these walkways. I'm having so much fun with platforms. I'm just like, yes. It's like, oh, there's path progression. Oh, but there's platforms now. Like, yeah. I've been sitting here and like, I could be doing progression, but I'll spend like a day or two just working with platforms and playing with platforms and then going to Betweenlands and just doing this. I actually don't move too slow on the mud. in fact, so that's good. But I'm thinking like the pitstone is going to be, let me actually break that for just a minute. I need to put that torch back because my lighting is all underneath the floor here. Well, I guess it don't matter. I think that lamp would probably be taking care of it. But we could do pitstone. I don't know if I want to do the pitstone bricks or just straight up pitstone. And I'm really thinking just straight up pitstone for this. I kind of want pitstone as a lot of our foundation work in our build. And I think to that end, I think I want just the really raw, rough pitstone. Yeah, so this is coming along. And I think this is going to look really nice. If you want like a swampy area, I think it's going to look really nice for a swampy area. Because it's going to be like that. But then there's going to be that swamp water that comes up to there. Like rises up to the pitstone. The pitstone kind of looks like it's, you know, it's covered in like moss or algae or something like that. So I think it's going to look pretty good. And then I've got these lamps down here in the water. That's just going to kind of illuminate certain areas of this water for us. And then maybe we'll throw some lurkers down there. So you can look down and see some lurkers kind of swimming about in this water. And I think that would be great. I think that would be great. And I do have plans in this build to capture monsters. If you recall, when we did the Divine Journey, the witchery build on there, we had that like basically like pseudo hell area that we built. Basically based off the Silent Hill, you know, the other world stuff. And oh wow, you notice it gets the little mosquitoes flying over it. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be perfect. This is gonna be just a dirty swamp. Is what it's gonna be down here. Oh man. I'm going to be in heaven once this is done. Going to be in heaven. I mean, I guess we could have just lived in the Betweenlands, but I think it's cooler to live in the overworld. And we have some of the conveniences of living in the overworld, but we're living in the Betweenlands swamp, basically. Plus, it's more work. It's more fun that way. And then this pitstone is going to be kind of our our betweenstone. Is going to be kind of our general rock that we use for a lot of the cave that we're in, kind of the subterranean area. For example, like I started shaping up this, kind of getting out what shape I wanted it to be, but we're going to replace it with betweenstone. And I'm not going to do the smelted betweenstone, not the smooth one, because I don't want it to be smooth. I want it to have this really rough, rocky look to it. And so I'm thinking we'll go through, and I'll probably throw in like some splashes of other stone, maybe some pitstone, maybe some limestone, maybe slimy bone, you know. Could even throw in a little bit of ore just to kind of give it more of a natural look to it. And maybe some crag rock. Might throw some crag rock in there. I don't know. We'll just mix it up a little bit, have some fun with it. And so we'll kind of have this really kind of cave feel going on. And I've got to shape up the tree a little bit, probably, the way the roots went. But that's going to be great. But we are going to be capturing various monsters. Like I want shades and ghosts and stuff. Like kind of held in this place. And various different maybe Divine RPG and Betweenlands mobs that we keep. I definitely want hags because they add so much ambience to an area. Let's actually... Okay, we're going back to Betweenlands, armed with our safari nets, or mob imprisonment tool. I'm going to call it safari net because, you know, it's basically what it is. And we've got our soul vial. And I've got to find a nice place. What kind of a mob spawner is this, out of curiosity? Oh, gosh. Termites. Okay, I don't want termites. Not worried about killing them. Yeah, let's go get this guy here. There we go. Leave me alone, anglers. We got ourselves a lurker. And I wouldn't mind maybe getting it like one more lurker. If I can find one. Oh, there's one. He's beached right now, but... And there's one in the water. Cool. There we go. Leave me alone, angler. The little fish are just evil. Okay, I think I just let a Cairo maw into my base as well. At least he went into the portal, so we'll find out. There he is. Okay, so we've got ourselves 2 pet lurkers now. I don't know what I'm going to name them, and I don't have any name tags on me. So I'm not going to leave them out, but let's see. What's it take to make a name tag on here? Okay. Alrighty. I may have some from a dungeon chest. I don't know. But if not, we'll have to get our catalyst, our alchemy catalyst. But, we've got pet lurkers. No, you go. There we go. And then, once I get name tags on these guys, we'll just have lurkers. I might get a few more, maybe like 4 lurkers that just kind of swim around in our swamp water. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Which means I am going to have to change up the front of this. Originally, I was actually going to have the water run through and there's going to be a waterfall at the end of this. But I may have to change that because I don't want lurkers falling down. I might have it kind of theoretically go under, like through some rock, and then come out the other side to a waterfall. I think that would work. And actually, it would probably work out pretty good. I think with the build too. So, yeah, I think I can do that. Okay, now, one other thing I want to do. Let me pop upstairs, because I need a couple things. I also want moss all over that. Would look good. If I got through there. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna look... I think it's gonna look cool once it's done, and then we'll have all that swamp goodness down there. Okay, that took me forever to find my hammer and pallet. Because it was up there mixed in with all the stuff that I've gotten from digging this place out. And okay, so anyways, what we are going to do, let's see. This is kind of a throwback to Divine Journey, because we had a statue in our Betweenlands tree on there. We're going to actually have the same person's statue this time around. Right up here. I'm going to try it up here. We're going to see. I might have to move it, but I'd kind of like him sitting right up here, if at all possible. But I don't know if we did, which I'm just making this out of cobblestone because the material doesn't matter if you're going to color it. So, but if we did this, yeah, I think that's the lowest point to have the legs out. And we're going to put in the player name is going to be Sniper Squirrel 0. Right? There we go. Sniper Squirrel 0. And we are going to see. I wonder if I have like an acorn or something. Like, I have an acorn. Let's turn him a little bit so he's sitting kind of like sideways. And maybe he's holding an acorn there. And Sniper Squirrel, he's got to have a bow, right? So maybe he'll have a bow in this hand and like an acorn. Kind of some kind of little thing. I don't know if we actually have an acorn, but I think maybe something like that. We can adjust it if we need to. Cobblestone's cheap. And then maybe turn his head like facing forwards. Okay, so let's do sculpt and hit it with the palette. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. No, actually, I think I want his head tilted down, though. So let's go ahead and just break that. These don't have durability or anything like that, so they're pretty much infinite use. And if you're coloring them, like mine I had to do with the bewitchment tiles because it's kind of that rusted look. But if you're coloring these with the palette, which if anybody wants theirs in like a material, I can do that too. But you can really tell the skins a bit more if you color them in. But if we have maybe more like that, so yeah, so he's like kind of looking down on this area. I think that'll be good. I think so. Let me get, I don't know if I have any form of like an acorn. No. Is there anything I can use from plants, maybe? Actually, smoldering berries kind of look like a little nut. I'll just wait. We're going to get to start getting into fairy lights soon, too. Which are so much fun. Okay, so maybe like that, I guess. Yeah, I think that's good. I think so. And you can kind of see his like little edible there. And his bow also. So, yeah, I think we'll go with that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but I think it works out pretty well. I think last time we had him kind of up on one of those little tree branches up there, but I think this way we can see him a little bit more, because I think where we had him before, he was kind of hidden up in there. So I think this works out pretty good. And that's how statues re-chiseled works. And I've got a Cyclops here. Great. Let me go kill him. Oh, no, the gang's all here right now, in fact. There we go. No soul so far. Alright. But yeah, so I know it's probably about wrapping up time for this. But we got to do a little bit of fun stuff today. Let me know down in the comments if you guys like this or even care to see this. But I thought it'd be kind of fun. It's a way to go into the Betweenlands without it being so formal as an actual episode. Because then I get people saying, well, that's not part of the pack. Don't make us watch that. That's how it was with Divine Journey anyways. So this is more just kind of like a builder's episode. Hang out, ramble a lot about random things, and we can play around with decorative mods. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys next time.